Today we are going to be working on finding the perimeters of two polygons that have the same area. Now remember, area is the number of squares on the inside of the shape. So we're going to be looking at different polygons or different shapes that have the same number of squares on the inside, but they have a different perimeter or a different distance around the outside of the shape. So let's look at these first two rectangles over here. Now, I'm telling you that these two rectangles have the same area. Now, I just reminded you that area is the number of squares on the inside of the shape. So I'm telling you they have the same area, but let's check. So let's look at this first rectangle right here, and let's count the area together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my rectangle X has an area of 12 square units. Now, I just told you that these two rectangles have the same area, but let's just check our rectangle Y just to make sure that it also has an area of 12 square units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my rectangle Y sure does. It has an area of 12 square units. But they have different perimeters. Now, to find my perimeter, I need to add up all the sides. So let's look back at rectangle X. Rectangle X, I need to add up all of my 4 sides in this rectangle. So let's look up at the top side length. My top side length is 4 units long. Now, because I know that opposite side lengths are the same, I know that my bottom side length is also 4 units. Now my 2 side lengths over on the other sides, I can count that they are 3 units. So to find my perimeter of rectangle X, I'm going to add up all my sides. 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3 equals blank. Well, 4 plus 3 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. And then I know my doubles fact. 7 and 7 make 14. So my perimeter of rectangle X is 14 units. Now I don't want to call them square units because I'm not measuring with squares on the inside of my shape like I do with area. I'm just measuring the length like I would with a ruler, so I don't want to use squared. I just want to say units. Now let's look at rectangle Y. So if I'm wanting to find my perimeter of rectangle Y, I'm going to count my side lengths again. So I know that my top side length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. And I know this side length over here is 2 units long. And I know that opposite sides have the same length in a rectangle, so I can go ahead and label all my sides. It's really important when you are trying to calculate perimeter that you label all your side lengths before you get going. So now that I have all my side lengths labeled, I can find my area. So again, I'm going to add up all my sides. So 6 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2. And I know that 6 plus 2 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. So then I do my doubles fact, and I get 8, and 8 makes 16. So my perimeter of rectangle Y is 16 units. Now the very last part of my question, it's asking me, which rectangle has a greater perimeter or a bigger perimeter? So if I'm looking at rectangle X compared to rectangle Y, I notice that rectangle Y has a larger perimeter. 16 units is greater than 14 units. So rectangle Y has a greater perimeter. Now, let's look at this word problem down below. I'm going to erase some of my work from before so that I have enough space. So let's look at it together. Miss Collins wanted to plant a garden that has an area of 24 square feet. And I know that that means 24 squares on the inside of the shape. Which garden has the smallest perimeter? Ooh, this is going to be a little bit tricky. So, if I am trying to figure out which rectangle has the smallest perimeter, I need to first figure out what this missing side length is. I need to know what my side lengths are so that I can calculate the perimeter. So the first thing that I should probably do is think back to what I know about how I calculate area. So I know that when I find area, I'm really multiplying the length times the width. The length means the longest side of the rectangle, and the width means the other shorter side of the rectangle. So in this rectangle that I have, what parts do I know for this equation? So do I know my area? Oh, I sure do. My area is 24 square feet. So I'm going to write 24 square feet is equal to, now do I know my length? Oh, I sure do. It's 6 feet. 6 feet times, do I know my width? No, I don't. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm going to call that N. So my equation that I have is 24 square feet is equal to 6 feet times N. Now I want to think, is there a way for me to rearrange these numbers in the fact family to make a division sentence that can help me solve for N? So if I am wanting to rearrange these numbers into a division sentence, I know that I can rewrite it as 24 square feet divided by 6 feet equals N. All I did was rearrange those numbers in the fact family to make a true division sentence. And I know that 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. And I could use many different strategies. I could make an array. I could draw a picture model. I could do repeated subtraction. Let's do repeated subtraction just to check my work. So if I start at 24 and I want to subtract 6 until I get to 0, 24 minus 6 is equal to 18. 18 minus 6 equals 12. 12 minus 6 equals 6. And 6 minus 6 equals 0. So I subtracted 6 4 times. Okay, so I know that my missing side length is 4 feet. Now, I could think that I'm finished with my question, but I'm not. Because I still have to figure out what the perimeter is. So if I now know that this missing side length is 4 feet, I can go ahead and label all my sides. That's going to help me because now I can just add up all the sides to find my perimeter. I'm going to come up here to the top where I have some more space, and I'm going to add up all my sides. 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4. 6 and 4 make 10. So my perimeter is 20 feet. All right, now I need to figure out my perimeter of my second rectangle. So I am going to do a little bit of erasing so that I have some space. So we're going to do it the exact same way. I am going to rewrite my area equation, area equals length times width, to include the information that I know. So first, my A, do I know my area? Yes, I do. It's 24 square feet. Do I know my length? Yes, I do. It's 12 feet, the longest part of my rectangle. Now, do I know my width? No, I don't. So I'm going to call that N. Now, I need to solve for that missing side length. I need to figure out what it is. I want to rearrange these numbers in the fact family to create a division sentence that will help me solve for this missing side length. So I'm going to rearrange these three numbers here to be a division sentence. 24 square feet divided by 12 feet equals N. So when I do that, I figure out that my missing side length, 24 divided by 12. I'm going to do repeated subtraction again, my same strategy. 24 minus 12 equals 12. 12 minus 12 equals 0. How many times did I have to subtract 12 to get to 0? Twice. So N equals 2. So my missing side length is 2 feet. Now that's helpful to me because now I can find my perimeter. Add up all the sides. So if I'm trying to find my perimeter of my second rectangle, my perimeter is equal to 12 plus 2 plus 12 plus 2. 12 plus 2 is 14. And 14 is 28 feet. So back to my original question, which garden has the smallest perimeter? Now let's remind ourselves, the perimeter of my first rectangle was 20 feet. My perimeter of my second rectangle was 28 feet. So which garden had the smallest perimeter? The first one. The garden number 1 had the smallest perimeter because 20 feet is less than 28 feet. You will continue practicing this with some practice problems, and good luck.